And welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Hey guys, my name is Ophia. Today I got a macro I want to show you guys, and this is, I think we're at 4.5 right now. This is Stormblood expansion. What they did earlier, just before this, for the expansion, either before the week before, or right at the expansion. During the early access, they went and streamlined all the class skills and cross-class skills. They basically made it to where you don't have to do a sub job to unlock your, a subclass to unlock your job. Basically, you go straight into your job at 30. But I wanted to take a look at the roles as far as cross skills, because they made this a hot mess. They've limited the number of how many skills we can take in, and a lot of these are pretty good. You know, Shirk is real good for off tanking. Convalescence is real good. It's almost a must to have on. Ultimatum, it says it provokes my nearby enemies. Almost kind of what Flash does for the Paladins, does due to blind. And there's a few other ones in here that are pretty meh, like Interject. It's situational. I understand a lot of the mobs, especially bosses, are stun resistant now, so low blows meh. But I do find where I need that a lot, especially when I'm running, doing trash mobs or just questing out in the area. But I don't want to have to keep coming up here. Alright, I gotta go to actions and then go over here, and then I gotta, oh well, I'm not gonna need this, or I'm not gonna need that, and this is that. Yeah, it does make it a little bit of a headache. So what I did is I came up with a macro for doing this, so it pretty much cuts out a lot of my clicking. So what I'm going to here, I've got this on my shared menu, so I'm going to be sharing this. I'm not quite sure if this is shared. I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is shared between classes, not characters. I don't know for sure, but I'm almost positive that's the case. So what I have here is I have a macro that will add convalescence to this little hotbar here. Okay. Not necessarily the greatest thing. If I click this, it takes Shirk off, and if I click this, it will add convalescence on. And not necessarily because it knows where to put it. It just puts it in an empty slot. Because if I try to do this, it's not going to add Shirk anywhere because it's all full. And then what I did here is I added a hotbar that I wanted to place this guy on. So take a look at the hotbar. This is hotbar 3, button 1. So let's do this. We'll turn that off. As you can see, it grays out convalescence. But let's do Shirk. We'll execute Shirk, and what it does is it actually turns Shirk on and then puts it in its spot. So I can just use that same button combination, which was Control 1. Of course, I don't have it's an invalid target, to do what I want it to do. Now, if we look at and if I wanted to do it again, I would have to execute Shirk one more time, and it grays it out, and then execute the convalescence, and then you see convalescence back down here. Of course, if I want to use convalescence, yeah. So let's take a look at the macro, because I'm going to wait for the cooldown before it allows me to change it out. So let's take a look at how to write this macro. And then right here, you'll see additional actions. Additional actions are a action for short, which is another usage. All you need is a sub command, And if you have on, it sets the roll for active. If you have off, it removes the roll. And if it's clear, it removes, it acts as a toggle. So if you press it once, it turns it on. If you press it again, it turns it off. Which is very helpful. So if I wanted to, and if I wanted to use this in like a real world setting, I would click these, drag these down here, close out, and then if I wanted to, and I can't do it right now because Shirk is still on cooldown, I would just click Convalescence again. Of course, down can't move, and then click it again. And this is kind of cool because we can actually do this with any of the other macros. So let's say we want it, to be more of a mix and match type thing. So we can do, let's say, Rampart. Go ahead. I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to copy and copy this one. Copy, paste, and I wanted to use Rampart instead. So what I do, again, I'm cheating using. Oh, damn it. That was horrible. See, so we'll take Shirk out, we'll put Rampart in its place. We'll change the icon to Rampart. I know I didn't put a name up the other ones because I just did this in a rush. Alright, so what we're looking at the macro here, or when we look at the macro here, we're looking at an M icon, which is, it gives us the icon that we normally see associated with a skill. And then we'll put Rampart in between the quotations. Now you don't need the quotations unless it's a 2-part word. None of the skills, well, low blow would be one. So low and blow, it's a 2-part word, it's a 2-part phrase. So if I wanted to do low blow, I would have to put low and blow in between these quotations. I do it mainly because that's the way I've always done it. So it's more of a habit for me now. And then we'll do the action where it adds or removes, and then it will add that skill to the hotbar. Okay, so now we're ready to grab this guy and drag him down. So let's say, okay, well, we don't want that we don't want to use that same skill. We don't want to replace the skill that we have in that spot with the other one. So let's go, we'll add that to skill 2. Right. Or, sorry, button 2. So what I can do is like, well, because we already have it active here, let's go back to traits. Control. We'll unselect Rampart because we already had it active. Okay, and as you can see, it grays out. So what we'll do is we'll click that. It adds Rampart to this list, and then it adds it to this line, or to this button. And again, if we wanted to do something else in this spot, so if we wanted to do like an awareness, we'll copy again, paste, and we'll want to add awareness instead. Looking at my keyboard, making sure I do this right. Right there. And there we go. So now we got awareness. There we go. So now we're going to be interchanging awareness with Rampart, interchanging convalescence with Shirk. And yeah, this is not like the best lineup. to do. You'd want to look at your skills and see which ones you can do without during the instance versus ones you can't do without. Again, as a tank, Rampart and awareness is pretty much a must-have, but I'm just doing this just as a guide, just as a guide. So again, when I clicked it the first time, it took awareness out, and then if I click this again, it put the awareness back on, and it replaces the Rampart with the awareness. And if we see convalescence and convalescence is up, so we'll click convalescence again, and we'll replace it with our Shirk, and that's all we're gonna do. Like that. Now this is a pretty basic one-click or two-click process. Now if you wanted to get a little more technical, you can have it to where it will turn off and turn on via one click, and it's not too difficult, but it is a couple of more steps to it. So what we do is we'll go here and we'll have I'll do this right here. We'll have to copy this. Alright, we'll need to add underneath we want to do the first step first, which is turn off one skill. So what I'll do is add convalescence, but I want to do off, and I want to turn Shirk on. So on, that's not no, it's on. Alright, and that will save it like that. And of course we want to do the opposite for our other one. Now this is probably the way you would want to do it, unless you have multiple skills you're trying to throw in that one slot. Then you would want to use a 2-button. But again, it's up to you which one you want to use. So we'll add that in here, but again, we want to add off to Shirk this time, and oh, wow, keep messing it up. And on to the one underneath it. Alright, so now, instead of having to press this button twice, I only have to press one button once. So we have Shirk up here, but we want convalescence. So we click it, and it adds it just like that. And again, if we want Shirk instead, adds it. So this is probably the better way to do this. I find this is probably going to be the way I'm going to do my setup for when I do my my in-game content. Now, if you want to do controller, which I use controller for my my gameplay, and what I'm using right now, look at it. So then, this is what I'm using right now. So it's pretty much the same thing. This M icon, the skill that we want to activate, Shirk off, action convalescence on, but then the hotbar skill, the hotbar controls are going to be different. For cross hotbar, you want to use C hotbar, R cross hotbar, and then you want to put action as your sub command, because it's telling where the command is at. It's under actions, and then convalescence, and then we're going to put it on hotbar number 8. And this is where it gets a little iffy. Well, a lot of people, I still have a hard time wrapping my head around this. What this is, if we go to hotbar 8 down here, this is going to be my right hotbar selection, button A. And then so that's this button right here. Of course, convalescence not set right now. Convalescence not set. And I have it here, so it saves me from having to save space. I can kind of just use it on the fly right there. You can see this is replacing here. And if you want to know where you can find these I guess, the lack of a better word, addresses for these buttons. Oh wow, saw something. You can come down here to X commands, and there is a cross hotbar, and then at the bottom down here it gives you your map. So it tells you what skill to put where. So if I wanted to move this to the D-pad on the left side, I would put LDL. And if I wanted to do on the right side, RDL. Okay, and I hope this macro really helps you out. I'm thinking this is going to be probably one of my better ones because it's a more convenient macro, or it's a more convenient way to change your skills other than coming to general roles, unclicking, clicking, and then closing out your window and then starting your game. So I'm hoping this helps you all out. Thank you for watching the guides. Sorry, thank you for watching this guide, and I hope y'all have a good day. Thank you.